How do you learn to let a man lead? What do you do if you're the nice girl and you don't want to have to put on an act to get a guy's respect? And what if you've been pushing your partner away constantly and now he wants space? Welcome to Ask Markets week number 67, my final video from the lovely Hong Kong. It's been a pleasure to be here. Got some amazing clients here, so thank you for having me. Hey, don't forget to join the Facebook group. Link is in the description, and check out the Academy. There's some amazing content in there for you as well. And now, let's get into the questions. The first one is from Sarah Claus, 78. Really good question this, and this is something that I work with clients through a lot. She says, I struggle with letting someone help me, letting a man lead. I am self-sufficient and have seen many hurt looks when male co-workers, male friends, or even my husband's help is rejected / not needed. Any advice on how to not feel weak by allowing them to help? Well, Sarah, you nailed the first part of the question here, which is that your associations with being helped have become associations with being weak. You've connected the two. Receiving for you has become a symbolism or a symbol of weakness. Let me give you a couple of common examples that I work through with this. So I work with a lot of professional clients, a lot of professional women, and many of these women are strong, independent leaders, thought provokers. They burn their own path in life. But the problem is in their personal life, when it comes back to letting a man lead, they get very uncomfortable with that. They don't like the idea of it. It promotes anxiety. I had one client say to me, it's only like the tiny proportion of men that I would trust to lead. I remember that was a long time ago, and it gave me a great insight, because what it's really about is trust. Most of these women who struggle to let a man lead have let a man lead in the past. And unfortunately, he betrayed that trust, or he didn't lead effectively, and she then took on the responsibility for leading herself and doing it all herself. Thus, she swung to the other end of the spectrum, and at even the suggestion that someone leads her or gives to her, that's a sign of weakness. I've been there, lots of pain. I had a good friend of mine. Her room was pink, her bag was pink, like part of her stationery and things were pink. Very strong, very independent, very outspoken woman. Could not admit her favorite color was pink. Well, not until recently. She sat down one day, journaled about it, and realized that every time she went to admit her favorite color was pink, all these old associations with being weak, with being ditzy, with being overly soft came up, and she didn't want to be any of those things. She wrote down her mental chatter when she said, hey, I like pink, and realized how much BS it was, and that she had to come back to the middle, and that liking pink didn't mean the previous things that it meant. This is the same for you. Receiving gifts does not mean the previous things that it meant. It does not mean weakness. It does not mean you're not good enough. It does not mean you can't live on your own. But you've got to change those associations. So Sarah, what I'd encourage you to do, start sitting with the anxiety. Start accepting little things from them, little tasks that they do for you, little gifts, whatever your husband, little acts of service, whatever he's doing. Start accepting them. Sit with the anxiety that it causes you, and then journal your thoughts at the time. Journal how it makes you feel. Journal what's running through your head. Oh, I accepted his help with the laundry. I'm weak. Means I can't do shit on my own. Means that he's going to look down on me. Journal all the bullshit. Because when you see it, you'll realize how ridiculous it is. Change those associations and realize that receiving, being led, is not weak. It is in fact an act of courage. Not only that, it's an act of community. When you constantly reject someone's help, that person feels rejected. That man feels rejected. One little quick story from a seminar that I ran. I was leaving at the end, and one woman was left. This is actually a free meet and greet. One woman was left. Her name was Ali, and Ali was a strong, independent businesswoman. She ticked all the boxes of the classically powerful, independent woman. I had 5 bags with me. She picked up 4 and walked out carrying them. I said, what are you doing? And she said, no, I got this. I said, no, let me carry my own bags. Like, you can help, but no, not 4 to 1. She said, no, I got this. I had to literally stop her and say, Ali, I know you can do it. I'm asking you to let me do it, to carry my own bags. And because I'd switched her association, I said, I know she can do it. It doesn't make you weak if I carry the bags. She was then able to go, I can let you carry the bags. And I didn't feel rejected and weird because she's carrying all my bags. So I'd really encourage you, change those associations, journal the thoughts, and get comfortable with this new association of receiving and being led as courageous and community driving. Lovely question, lovely question. I think that'll help a lot of viewers. Thank you, Sarah. Next question is another powerful one. Andrea says, what's really frustrating for me is that us nice girls, and I'm nice to everybody, male or female, I just like being nice to people, we have to put on this front like we don't care in order to get a guy to keep putting in effort. How ridiculous that it should be that way. Why can't two adults just act like adults and be honest about how they feel? There's actually two things here, Andrea, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you've kind of merged the two and they're two different things. One is being nice, and the other is being emotionally affected. So let's talk about both. The first one, I'm nice to everyone, male or female. Why is it that us nice girls, have to pretend we're something we're not? You don't. You just have to value that and have boundaries as well. Okay, don't even take it as an example from you. Take it as an example from a guy. What do you think of a nice guy, right? He's nice to everyone. He's nice to men, he's nice to women, he's nice to you. He has no backbone. He doesn't earn respect because he's a yes man, he's a pushover. It's not the niceness that you hate, right? You're not looking for a guy who's an asshole. It's just the backbone, it's the power that's missing. That's why this guy struggles with women. I know because I've coached a lot of these men and I was this man. Nice guys need boundaries. They need to be able to say no. They need to be able to say, hey, I have value, take it or leave it. That's what a backbone looks like. That's what attractive is. It's not about holding your niceness back. It's about only giving it to men who value it, respect it, and appreciate it, and being able to walk away if they don't. Okay, the other point is about being emotionally affected. Now, if those emotions are real, put it out there at the time. Own it. But also ask yourself, how can I build more confidence and more resilience? Because if you're being crazily emotionally affected by every little thing a guy does, then you're probably lacking resilience, and that would be a good personal development area to focus on. Your thoughts determine your emotions. So focus on your thoughts and focus on building resilience around the situations that are giving you a lot of emotional instability. Because what guys also aren't looking for the woman that's constantly emotionally unstable, right? You need to be able to modulate your own emotions as well. Good question, really good question. The nice part is so important there. And final question is from Katrina. And Katrina says, what if you've made big mistakes that almost cost you the relationship? Example, breaking up with him, then wanting him back. But instead, he says, I think we need to take a break. Keeping in mind, this is after you've hurt him many times by trying to end things before over silly reasons, and over the course of the relationship, not respected his space before. Also, you've asked him, sorry about the background noise, also you've asked him how long he wants to take a break for, and he can't say, he just looks hurt and says how long, it's just a matter of time. How long should you give him? Katrina, your question here raises a lot more questions than answers. To be honest with you, I just want to book in a discovery call with you right now and talk about all of this, because your insecurities, Katrina, here are pushing you all over the place. Why are you breaking up with him and then wanting to get back together? If you're going to break up with him, take the decision seriously and then follow it through. Okay? If you're starting arguments over little things that you know aren't significant and aren't important, why are you doing that? Now, if it's an insecurity that you have relative to the relationship, then that needs to be discussed as part of the relationship. If it's something that's specific to you, so it's nothing wrong that he's done, then that's something you need to handle yourself. Either way, it's not constructive to ask for space and start arguments about these little things. You said also, how long does he take a break for? Katrina, to be honest with you, if I'm the guy, I'd want to take a break from this as well. I think the question should be, how long are you going to take a break for to figure out the insecurities, to figure out what's driving this behavior and really get some self-reflection on it? So I say, Katrina, I can't fully answer this question because I really want to ask you a lot of questions about where this is coming from, what in your past you've dealt with, why these behaviors are coming up, and I'd get you doing a whole heap of self-reflection. So if you're in Katrina's situation, you know, have a book in with me. Love to chat about this. There's obviously things that are happening here coming up that she needs to deal with, and you might be in the same sort of boat. But clearly she's ruining her relationships with this behavior. And Katrina, honestly, I wouldn't go back to him until you've really taken maybe 90 days and had a really good reflection on all of this. It's you that needs the space now, and you should be thinking about your own space, not his. Well, that's the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Hong Kong, for having me. It's been lovely being here. My clients here have been amazing. Hey, make sure you join the Facebook group as well. My master coaches are in there. It's totally free. And check out the Academy, where I've got fresh new content, heaps of stuff relating to my book. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the little bell so you get the notifications, and make sure you leave your comments, thoughts, questions in the space below. Goodbye from Hong Kong. I shall see you next week.